Here we find Nancy Wheeler, a 16-year-old high school student who is facing a problem. Recently, when searching for Barb on her own late at night, Nancy discovered the Upside Down. She barely escaped and finds herself alone, terrified and unsure of what to do or who to turn to. Afraid beyond belief, she takes a leap of faith and runs home to talk to her mom.
Nancy, is that you? Mom? Nancy, where have you been?
Mom! Oh my
Do you
God!
have any idea what time it is?
Oh, Mom, there's something I have to talk to you about. Well, what happened was,
Okay, what is it?
it's gonna sound hard to believe, but there was this hole, and I went in it, and I saw, and I didn't exactly know what I saw, but I saw this.
Nancy, what are you talking about? Oh, God, Nancy, are you high? Are you drinking?
Instead of taking a moment to listen to what Nancy has to say, her mom cuts her off and assumes that she was out drinking or doing drugs. Her mom is acting out of nervousness. She is scared that the reason Nancy is speaking nonsense is because she is surrounded by bad influences.
What? No, Mom, you have to listen to me. I was in the forest, and I was looking for Barb, and there was this hole. It went into a forest, the same forest, except it was cooler, and there was this, there was...
What, Nancy?
A monster! There was a monster, and I saw it, and it didn't look human, and now I can't stop seeing it, and I don't know what to do.
Nancy, I don't even know what you're talking about. Nancy, you have to tell me. Are you and Steve doing drugs? Did he talk to you into something? You could talk to me, Nancy, but you need to tell me the truth, and it needs to start making sense.
Here, Nancy is being honest with her, something she is only doing because she is truly terrified. The fact that her mom is once again dismissing her without trying to understand is detrimental to this conversation.
Steve? What? No! It's not Steve has nothing to do with anything! Everything I'm telling you is true, and I knew you wouldn't believe me, and I don't even know why I came to you.
Nancy, don't say things like that. I'm your mother. I want to be here for you. Believe me, if you're in trouble, I want to help you, but you just have to start making sense.
I was in the forest looking for Barb, and I found this black, weird-looking hole, and I went inside it, and that's where I saw the monster, and I barely made it out. We have to do something. What if it kills someone else just like it killed Barb?
Nancy, there is no monster that killed Barb. The police said she ran away. We have to leave it up to the police. Right now, you just need to go to bed and rest. And you told me you were in a study group, which you lied about it, so you're grounded.
Why don't you believe me? You never believed me. You didn't believe me about Barb, so why would you believe me now? Just forget it. I shouldn't even have come to you about this.
Nancy is now regretting talking to her mom about this. She is remembering when she came to her mom when she was first worried about Barb and how her mom did not listen to her then either. Now, she is doing the same thing, leading Nancy to wish she never brought it up in the first place.
Nancy, I think you've really just had a long night and that you're confused. You should not be talking to me like this, Nancy.
Just forget it. Just forget it.
As Nancy's mom was already worried, confused, and angry, the conversation led nowhere. Nancy had already lied about where she was tonight, so when she came back paranoid and seemingly speaking nonsense, her mom immediately assumed she was out with Steve doing drugs or drinking. This was not a successful conversation, and it now paints a better picture as to why Nancy often lies to her mom and does not come to her for help. Here we find Nancy Wheeler again. After trying to talk to her mom about what she saw in the Upside Down, without success, she chooses to turn to Hopper. In her mind, Hopper is someone who may listen to what she has to say and maybe actually believe her. She shows up to Hopper's office at the police station and knocks on the door.
Come in. Who is it? Hi. I need to talk to you about something.
Sure, Nancy, what's up?
Well, the other night I was searching for Barb in the forest.
Nancy, you know that's not safe. We have plenty of officers who help with Barb's case. You don't need to.
Please, just let me tell you what happened. Can I sit in that chair?
I'm a police officer, Nancy.
So, I don't know if you'll believe me, but I don't know who else to turn to. My mom won't believe me, and I know what I saw out there happen, and I know it was real, and okay. There was this hole, and I went inside it, and I don't even know exactly what I saw, but it didn't look human, and I can't stop thinking about it. And it took Barb, and she's probably in there, and we need to do something to help her. So what are you gonna do? We have to pull together and get in there and find her.
Nancy, are you okay?
Here, Hopper is worried about Nancy, but not in the same way as her mother was. He is genuinely worried about her state of mind, being that she is so shaken up. This is good because it shows that he is making genuine concerns and asking her directly if she is all right.
I'm fine. I just need to get in there, and I have to get Barb, and I can kill that thing because I can't stop seeing it every time I close my eyes. And just please tell me you believe me.
Nancy, I believe you.
Because you need to believe me, because no one has, and it's just really starting to frustrate me that nobody's believing me, and I really just don't know what to do because...
Nancy, I said I believe you.
This is huge because Hopper is validating Nancy's feelings, experiences, and her story. He is doing something that her mom failed to do. By believing her, this will prompt Nancy to trust him and feel safe confiding in him.
You do?
Yes, and it sounds like you've had a hell of a time.
Yeah, it is, but wait, how come you believe me? For so long you called Will's mom crazy, so why now are you going to take my word for it?
Because things are different now, and if you saw a monster, you saw one. We're gonna figure out a plan. I'm gonna do my best to get whatever the thing is gone. But in the meantime, are you okay, Nancy? What you saw isn't just something you saw on a move on from. And I want to make sure you're alright.
No. Yeah, it's not something you just move on from. Sorry about that. Officer Hopper, just thank you. You have no idea how much it helps. My own mom doesn't even believe me.
You told your mom?
Yes, I didn't plan on it, but I was just so freaked out, and I was all alone, and
It's fine, Nancy. More than understandable, but you aren't alone anymore. We're gonna figure this out, and I'm going to figure this out.
Thank you, Hopper. And also, would you maybe tell my mom that you believe me so she doesn't think I did drugs or God knows what?
I'll talk to her. As best as I can, Nancy. You just gotta give her a day or so to process. She was probably just nervous. She knows where you are now, right?
No.
Okay, well, I'll drop you off home and talk to your mom. I'll tell her I'm looking into investigating what you saw. Don't worry, Nancy. All you need to know is that I believe you and I'm going to help you.
As a figure of authority, Hopper is being kind but also ensuring that Nancy gets back safely. He might not tell her mom the full truth, as he has an inkling of what is going on already, but he will aid Nancy by talking to her. It is a responsible choice to offer his hand, but to also make it clear that she should go home to her mom.
Thank you, Hopper, for everything. Can I come back tomorrow? I need to help if we're gonna start figuring out a plan. I have to tell you everything, and you have to write it all down. Everything I saw.
Okay, but not until after school. Don't want you flunking out or anything like that.
Okay. Okay, sounds good. Thanks again.
Doing my job, Nancy. Come on, let's get you home.
All in all, Hopper handled this very well. He validated Nancy's feelings, experiences, and story. He also inquired about her feelings, trying to ensure that she is okay. In the end, he offered his professional and personal help, which is good because it helped to reassure Nancy. An important thing he did for her also was bringing her home, because he knows that Nancy needs to keep a safe relationship with her mother, and also for the sake of keeping her safe in general.
I'm Daniela, and I played Hopper.
I'm Jess, and I played Nancy.
I'm Alex, and I played the narrator.
I'm Alyssa. I played Nancy's mom.
And so this is our closing scene to sort of explain why we made our decisions and also to explain the evidence from the class. So you can start.
Okay, so the first thing that we tied in to our whole skit was positive discipline. And we said that Nancy's mom did not use positive discipline because she really was mostly afraid for Nancy's safety. Not as much as she was mad at her for acting a little cuckoo. But however, However, she could have been a lot more understanding with Nancy and offered to help her out. She sort of used some skills, but she didn't follow through. She asked Nancy what was going on and didn't just brush that off. And that is also listed in the positive discipline sheet. And she failed to let her explain more of why she was feeling that way. She did not try to understand. She just really she didn't paraphrase back what she was saying. She was kind of just snapping at her.
Yeah, that's part of the positive discipline.
And she did not offer real validation of her feelings. She just assumed that Nancy was doing drugs and that Steve was influencing her to do poorly and act crazy.
It also took a lot for Nancy to go to her mom because she normally doesn't. And you see that during the show when her mom tries to talk to her and she doesn't want to, or she goes up to her room and brushes her off. Since Nancy came to her this time, it was both mainly out of fear because she was alone and didn't know who else to go to. We've seen Nancy's mom tell her she didn't believe her before too when everything first happened with Barb and Nancy was worried. And we didn't think her mom would really do much to help her this time either because the first time she didn't really seem to care.
Yeah.
Also, I know if I was terrified for my life or someone else, I'd probably go to my mom first before I would go to anybody else, like the authorities or anything. My first person I would go to would be my mom.
Yeah. That's definitely.
So like she went to her mom and it took a lot of courage for her to really open up to her and stuff, and she was using safety from Maslow's hierarchy of needs. She was trying to find belonging, trying to feel like her mom can understand her, and when she was rejected from her mom, she was scared and she felt betrayed, and she just had to get to the bottom of it, and she ended up just going to Hopper, and Hopper helped her out and made her feel safe and achieves that step of Maslow's hierarchy of needs.
Yeah, so because her mom didn't offer her that safety, we figured the next logical step for her would be to go to Hopper, not just because he's a cop, but just because he's one of the most trusted cops out of all of them on the show. Also because of his recent interactions with Will's mom, we see that they're spending more time together, even though she's kind of has these crazy allegations of what she thinks happened to her son, and everyone notices. So Nancy thinks that, oh well, okay, my own mom didn't believe me, so the next logical step is to go to Hopper. And we decided to have Hopper react more positively to her because he's a cop, but also because of Will's mom, because then he might not be so quick to agree with her and believe her. Also, he is worried about her safety, and he initially tells her that she shouldn't have been in the forest at night. However, after she expands on what happened, he then validates what she's saying, and that's the key here that the mom didn't give her, was that he validates what she says. He says that, I believe you, I'm validating your experiences and your feelings and your story, especially because no one believed her with Barb, so this was just round 2 of that, where her mom wasn't also believing her about that. So it was really good when Hopper did believe her, and we thought he would be a great choice, and we thought he would react positively, and we thought it made sense for her to go.
And he offered to help her too, which is something she needed.
Made her feel safe and secure, since the mom obviously wasn't offering that.
Yeah. He followed through on the positive discipline, whereas the mom started and then wasn't able to follow through because of her fear for Nancy. So yeah, we are proud of what we did. Right, guys?
Yeah.
Right.
The end.
Yeah.